Stern Home Reviews. 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 Stern Home Reviews.
Hello everybody and welcome back. The popular Klipsch RP600M Mark II here has been reviewed to death for the past 2 years, but I nevertheless found it worthwhile to subject it to the full force of the Silverback listening team and point out all the stuff that other reviewers miss through the ears and brain of me as a AV consultant. If you're in the market for some affordable speakers that takes absolutely no prisoners, this review will be worthwhile, as I will bring you the whole package, including different honest opinions, as well as pointing you to the best of other videos to see on these speakers.
This is the sound that I was searching for.
Yes, you landed here on the full-service audiophile entertainment channel, Stern Home Reviews. Welcome.
The product was loaned to us by international reseller AV Connection, supporter of the Make Hi-Fi Great Again movement and honest reviews. Support those who support honest reviews, folks. These guys are awesome and has a huge selection of accessories shipping worldwide. Check them out, honey. You find them at av-connection.com.
Those of you not familiar with Klipsch as a company, it's an American vendor with a huge selection of speaker products. Just let me reuse this from my earlier review of their Cornwall 4 speakers wearing the same shirt. The modern-day Klipsch company carries an impressive selection of speaker products that range from active, passive, on-wall, in-ceiling, on-ceiling, home cinema, to soundbar, to professional-grade custom install, media, Bluetooth for in-house, gas station,
residence, warehouse, farmhouse, hen house, outhouse, or doghouse.
Yes, even subwoofers for underground install, and that's just the speakers. The highlights of the RP600 Mark II, that I will simply just call the Mark II from now on if it's okay with you, is a compact, highly efficient and capable of delivering jaw-dropping sound pressure for its size speaker. As you will see, we measured 106 dB SPL in the listening position. That's just insane and enough to meet reference peak levels for a pretty serious home cinema in a 3-meter distance from the speakers. It also dresses up with some very nice bi-wire/bi-amping terminals. Not many speakers in this price range can show off such feature either. I love stuff like that, that gives you room to play with it. For example, by bi-amping it, which can reduce intermodulation distortion as well as upping the insane performance even further. Hell, if you're on a tight budget, you could use it with a suitable old AV receiver like this Technics SA-AX6 that might be outdated for use with video, but is still awesomely great for this very purpose. You could even add a subwoofer using the built-in crossover and level control. And this cool AV receiver even has a bi-amping mode where you get low frequency and high frequency balance control. Yes, it totally makes the Mark IIs here rock. In fact, let's have a listen, including the little Buchart Sub 10 subwoofer helping out under 50 Hz, delivering that last octave. This is Boss Mode by Knife Party. Some thick ass stuff. Yep, that makes for some fun, punchy, clean, and party-ready sounds. Gotta love it. There's tons of amps that are considered useless like this for sale for almost no money. You can learn more about it in this video, where I set up and play around with building and listening to a 250 euro system, meant as a inspiration video for the audiophile on a tight budget. A pair of new Mark IIs will set you back around 735 euros. And yes, I'm aware that there's many speakers in this price range, but there ain't many that can reach the raw performance metrics of the Mark II. That's for sure. It's still a very affordable speaker, and the quality feel is great. Just look at this cork plate in the bottom, securing the speaker nicely on any bookshelf, and the quality terminals. Not bad at all. One thing though in relation to the build quality is this glued front baffle here. I had an unfortunate incident where the speaker fell to the floor from the speaker stand, damaging the corner, leading to the entire front baffle coming off.
The baffle is made of hard plastic, which is scratch resistant.
The speakers did survive though, and still sounds as they should, so they're tough enough, but the front baffle can come off, probably due to two different materials being glued together like that. The Mark IIs was evaluated by the listening team with 3 other speakers through a full day of individual listening sessions by each member. So their subjective experience is colored by having listened to other speakers on the same day, and they might reference them in their judgment, of course. The music segments was recorded in the listening position using an ORTF microphone setup, so you can benefit from listening with headphones. And for God's sake, make sure you have turned all dynamic range compression systems off on your player and sound preference settings. Note that there can be more than one place for these settings depending on your device, so I can't help you specifically with that. So let's dig into their experience and from there move into my conclusion and the soon-to-be world-famous pros and cons songs, viewer systems, and all the other goodies. But first, remember, in order to be able to play real music and making hi-fi great again, this channel is not monetized. I have none income from YouTube, and I don't get paid doing reviews. Instead, you can support Honest Reviews by joining me on Patreon, where you in return also will get tons of perks and access to the full Unhinged sessions and loads of other special content created just for Patreons. This is how you can contribute to Honest Reviews, and it means everything. So what do you say?
Please to help me with my rucksack?
Click the backpack on the link tree and lend a helping hand to carry the weight.
Oh, yeah, sure. Why not?
Thank you, man. Remember, even the modest of contributions can create a big flood if enough are doing it. Now to the exciting part, the sound. First, let's hear how the Mark IIs kicked ass in our now more or less standardized practical parallax SPL test. Thank you!
Take some beating.
It's not like they're hitting the end stops or sounding crazy in any way. It's just like, okay, now you can hear they're about to be there.
Yeah.
But it was
Quite impressive.
105 dB.
In the listening position.
Yeah.
But you hear at the low end and at low SPL, you don't have the sub 40 hertz. It's just missing from this speaker.
Yeah.
Where the other active speaker actually makes you think that you're listening to a much bigger speaker until you start to elevate the SPL, then it's just going to turn the bass down. So it depends on what your needs are. If you want to blow your head off and you don't have a lot of room for big speakers, these can do it. It's quite impressive.
Yup. So these things can really move some air. Tim had been listening to the Buchard A10 and MoFi Source Point 8s before he encountered the Klipsch Mark IIs here and immediately made notes on the imaging.
Doesn't feel it. The phantom image doesn't feel very stable. It seems very susceptible to slight movements from side to side. The center stereo field shifts.
Yep.
But I haven't experienced such a sensitivity to head placement on other speakers in this room. Not particularly exciting. Nice, no problem. But I feel a little bit more of a passive connection with the music here. I don't feel it's coming out and grabbing me. It's presenting it to me, but kind of at a distance on a plane that doesn't really come out and grab me.
They sound big for their size, and the things that are the elements that are panned out to each side, nice and wide and presented nicely. Stuff in the middle, I just can't get it to be stable. It feels as a mono sound field that has a tendency to shift with the smallest movement of my head. So I don't have a very stable feeling of the phantom field in the middle. I don't find them particularly warm in their characteristics. A little bit bright and harsh and what I tend to call a little bit shouty.
With that assessment, and we are having a little issues with the amplifier, I'm thinking, The NADC 399 amplifier used was replaced by a Linkdorf TDI 3400 and a pair of New Prime Evolution 2 monoblock amplifiers.
Yeah. Cope with this better. It's a nice sounding bass, not overly present, but quite well disciplined. And the less harshness in the mids and highs on this one, even when it's pushed loud.
I've looked at clouds from both sides now, from up and down, still somehow it's cloud illusions I recall. I really don't know clouds. At all.
Does a very nice job on that, and a large symphonic production on the Joni Mitchell number there. So the vocals are very well presented.
After Tim's more nuanced listening notes, I told him the price.
For a pair?
For a pair.
Wow. So you could buy three sets of those for one MoFi set.
Yeah.
Wow, that's impressive. That's impressive. Because then you can forgive them a lot of things, because this Joni Mitchell number, they do a beautiful job on it.
Yeah.
Nice set of speakers, especially for the price.
Yeah. Our senior listener, the rock and roller Carsten, was also a bit reluctant at first, having listened to the Buchard A10s and Dali Rubicon 2Cs before the Mark IIs.
This must be some of the most lifeless I heard today.
Are the hard lessons of the blues. People try to warn him, don't go across those tracks. He said blues was over that. Mystery train will bring me back. Now he's touring with passion. Once he got those blues, shaking up the 50s, bringing on the roots.
After a while, he really started to like the mid-range tonality.
The voice sounds great.
Then I told him the price.
For et sæt?
For a pair, you say? Holy shit! This is insane. I'm having a hard time believing the price of this speaker. I think it's incredibly cheap. And for someone who's looking to buy their first system, it's a phenomenal sound for the money. You probably won't find anything else that sound as good as these. So the value for money is top notch. Fantastic sound for the price.
After Sebastian's usual music acid trip, he actually felt very pleased with the Mark II sound, and even more so with the price in mind.
Well, for the money, I think they quite deliver. They can certainly rip your head off cleanly. And musical-wise, yeah, I find it's very entertaining and not as neutral as the other speakers we tested today. And the bass, of course, below 30 hertz or 40 hertz is not so full because the others use the DSP. We can also use DSP this up if we wanted to. Image-wise, I think that quite in the center when there needs to be, and it's not so broad outside the speakers, but it works for me. They disappear fairly well. And for the money, as I said, it's 700 euros?
730
euro. I think you can't ask for anything more than this. And in terms of how much power they really can deliver, it's quite impressive. It's not as neutral maybe as and not so musical as the other speakers, but it's not far behind. I could live with this one if I had to. So I think it's quite good, actually.
Me personally, I've been listening to the Mark IIs over a longer period of times in many different equipment combos, and I did not find them especially fatiguing. You can watch a snippet of the review process in this video where I play around with them together with the NAD C399, direct calibration, and a pair of MoFi SourcePoint 8 speakers in this here experiments video that had a creative breakdown in the creation of the thumbnail title. I feel the Mark IIs have a pretty competent and happy mid-range, especially portraying male voices very well. But overall, they lack the sense of air and details you get with more expensive speakers. I could characterize the sound as a big dense feeling with a nice dry bass, where the lowest extension has been traded off for headroom. I love that. The top end has a tendency to sound a bit on the harsh side, and I also found the imaging to be the weak point. On the other hand, I don't think that this is a speaker for the very focused listener. It's more of a rock and roller party boy or a awesome home cinema speaker. The Klipsch RP600 Yaggedy Yaggedy Mark II has a lot going for it. It's a affordable, high-performing compact speaker with some great attributes, making it suitable for a wide range of users, including home cinema. In fact, I would not hesitate to use these in a budget home cinema scenario in a smaller to mid-sized room. Not at all. Imagine that power with a couple of subwoofers doing the bass duties. Oh yes, bring it on, baby. You don't have to be afraid of giving them some juice, as they can really take a beating. But they do not sound like some shouty hillbilly speakers thrown together in some shed. It's actually a fairly refined speaker, and that makes it very suitable for most music if you don't prioritize deep diving into a holographic, airy soundscape as your primary thing. At the price point, it's quite a no-brainer that does not have so much direct competition, in my view. Looking for something else in the price range? Could be stuff like the Monitor Audio Bronx 100, the Bowers & Wilkins 607 S3s, the Polk Audio Reserve R200, or how about the three-way Wharfedale Evo 4.2? There's just so much to choose from in the price range, but again, not many that combines that kind of SPL sledgehammery with a pretty balanced sound overall. Before the pros and the cons song and the selected viewer systems from the Making Hi-Fi Great Again Facebook group you should join, here's a couple of great videos on the RP600M Mark IIs, giving you loads of nuance. Mr. Big Time affiliate link pimp Andrew Robinson has done a really good review right here. And my brother from another mother, Ron Brené, Trying Too Hard on the New Day channel, did a great job on this review. And from a not so well-known source, you should check out and show some love to Miss Potatofy, a young, gifted audiophile doing some really great review work. Her channel got deleted for unknown reasons recently, so she is currently rebuilding. Check out her stuff and subscribe. We need more young audiophiles inspiring to make hi-fi great again, so support them, guys. And Miss Potatofy, try to check your mail once in a while, will you? You'll find links to the mentioned reviews right here below in the description of the video. Now stay tuned for the pros and the cons. Try to dip your toes in the Patreon and let's pay it forward by supporting those that work to make hi-fi great again. Thank you for watching, and remember, you can discover the meaning of life itself when you just see you soon.
The pros and the cons, compact sides, pretty thing, yeah, high sound pressure capability, bang, great quality, DB anthem, but mid-range nice, highs, high value for dough, more music for less. Yeah, here comes the cons, they won't give you the runs. Weak stereo perspective, some found a bit harsh, top end, not a speaker for deeply focused listen, and that baffle, what the hell is up with that? Yeah, check out the stuff, hit the link tree like you can't get enough. Oh yeah, check out the stuff, hit the link tree like you can't get enough. Like and subscribe, you know it is right, become a patron and we have lots of fun. But bring the difference, channel reviews, just listen to hard reviews. The love of music, just listen to hard reviews. The love of music, making hi-fi great again, stand home reviews. Just listen, just listen, just listen. Just listen, just listen.